Well, thank you, Elena. It was so nice. That's a nice introduction. And thank you to Linda Bash and the National Council for Research on Women. Among other things, what I did this year was to go to Liberia and hear a story that was really quite amazing. And it found its way into a documentary that I produced called Pray the Devil Back to Hell. Yay! It was Best Documentary at the Tribeca Film Festival and shortlisted for the Academy Awards. And it was an amazing story about a group of very ordinary Liberian women who managed to protest and make enough noise and eventually be pivotal figures in bringing their civil war to an end there. It was a really interesting process editing this film because we didn't have a narrator. So we spent a lot of months in the editing room, and we really had this sense that we had this incredibly beautiful story and that we had all the potential in the world to completely blow it in the editing room. So it was a really anxious editing process, and it was really important to us that the women speak for themselves, which is why we didn't use a narrator, and you really have to spend some time editing to appreciate how hard that is to do. But that the women had to speak for themselves with all of this contagious brilliance and glory and creative beauty that they had. But it was also important to indicate through style and through atmospherics how really global the story was, which means that music was an incredibly difficult decision to make. So God was smiling on us one day when he dropped Angelique Kidjo into our lives, this beautiful, glamorous, talented, and very good-spirited person. She was everything that we dreamed of in terms of music because she was African in origin, but at the same time she had this incredibly global appeal and spirit to her. She was deep and she was serious, but she was also positive and joyous. She was also funny, and she was generous, and she was so brilliant. And if there were a girl version of Tigger, I think probably it's Angelique. We had this very cool, very downtown, Lower East Side looking composer with the black glasses and black, and he was very cool. And every time he got around Angelique, he was like a teenager at a Miley Cyrus concert. He was so excited. She brought so much heart and so much spirit to our film. I really believe that she lifted us to where we needed to be, and I'm just forever in her debt. So it's a really special person, who gets introduced twice in a single night. So I give you, and you're going to thank me for this, the global agent of love, none other than Angelique Kidjo.